Forgotten powerhouses of the 1970s. The 1970s were a turbulent time for muscle cars. Rising fuel prices, emission laws, and changing tastes nearly killed the breed. Yet, hidden in those years were cars that still carried the spirit of pure American horsepower. They were fast, fierce, and ahead of their time. But history forgot them. Today, we're bringing them back into the spotlight. 3 forgotten powerhouses that deserve your attention. 1. 1971. Ford Torino Cobra, 429. The 1971 Ford Torino Cobra was one of the last true Ford muscle cars before the Dark Age began. It looked like a sleek fastback cruiser, but it was born for battle. Under the hood roared the mighty 429 Cobra jet engine, a monster producing 370 horsepower. It was raw, untamed power, ready to rip through asphalt. The Torino Cobra could run the quarter mile in just over 13 seconds, which made it one of the fastest street cars of its day. Its design was muscular yet refined, blending aerodynamics with aggression. Inside, it had a simple but driver-focused cockpit. Everything you needed, nothing you didn't. It was the definition of Ford muscle done right. But as fuel costs and insurance rates skyrocketed, the Torino Cobra was overshadowed by smaller, tamer models. Production stopped after 1971, and it quietly disappeared from the spotlight. Yet among enthusiasts, it remains a secret weapon. A car that can still hold its own against any muscle legend. The 429's thunderous roar is unforgettable, a soundtrack of Ford's glory days. Today, the Torino Cobra 429 is a rare gem, a time capsule from when power still ruled Detroit. It's one of the most overlooked monsters ever built. And that's exactly why it's special. 2. 1972. Dodge Charger Rally 440. When people think of the Charger, they picture the 1969 model, the movie star, the icon. But few remember the 1972 Charger Rally 440, a true powerhouse hidden behind a new body style. It wasn't as famous, but it still packed serious muscle. The 440 cubic inch Magnum 5.8 produced up to 370 horsepower in earlier versions and still had plenty of grunt in 72. Even as regulations tightened, Dodge kept the flame alive. The Charger Rally wasn't just about straight-line power. It had upgraded suspension and handling to match. Its looks were sleeker, less aggressive, which fooled many into thinking it was all show. But under the hood, it could still roar with the best of them. The Rally trim gave it performance-oriented upgrades and bold styling cues. It wasn't a drag strip king anymore, but it remained one of the most powerful cars available in 1972. Drivers loved its balance of comfort and speed. Unfortunately, it came at a time when muscle cars were fading fast. The Charger Rally was forgotten as emissions rules cut deep into horsepower numbers. But today, it stands as proof that Dodge never gave up, even when times were tough. It's a forgotten hero of the 1970s, still ready to light up the streets if given the chance. 3. 1973. Mercury Montego GT. Mercury isn't the first name that comes to mind when you think of muscle cars. And that's exactly why the Montego GT was overlooked. This car was Mercury's answer to the Torino and Charger, offering power wrapped in elegance. The Montego GT came with the 351 or the massive 429 Cobra Jet V8, depending on the year. Even in 1973, it could still deliver impressive performance for its size. It was big, bold, and built to cruise fast highways with confidence. The Montego GT had a distinctive front end and fastback styling that gave it presence. Inside, it was comfortable, more refined than most muscle cars of its era. It was muscle for grown-ups, not just weekend racers. Its ride was smooth, but the engine had real bite. When you hit the gas, the Montego came alive with deep V8 thunder. Unfortunately, its luxury image and Mercury's marketing focus made it easy to overlook. It was caught between being a performance car and a personal luxury coupe. But enthusiasts who've driven it know it had serious muscle potential. It could go toe-to-toe with more famous names like the Torino and Chevelle. Today, the Montego GT is one of the best-kept secrets of the 1970s. Rare, stylish, and surprisingly fast. It's proof that Mercury built more than comfort cars. They built forgotten powerhouses. The Ford Torino Cobra 429, Dodge Charger Rally 440, and Mercury Montego GT were products of resilience. They fought against the odds, keeping the muscle car dream alive when the world said it was over. They may not have the fame of Mustangs or Camaros, but their spirit, that raw, untamed power, defines the true heart of American performance. Forgotten by time, but never by those who still crave the roar of the 1970s.